And what is up, y'all? Welcome to the stream. Appreciate y'all being here. It is another week for the NASCAR Cup Series, and we're going to be doing some qualifying here tonight. Today, this morning, actually, before we do a doubleheader, we have the truck race coming with you and the Xfinity race right after that on the channel as well. So appreciate y'all being here. Jake, have a good time today at the track. We hope you have fun. Bring this up just a little bit there. Let's see. Oh well. Well, there we go. That's better. So we are here at the Atlanta Motor Speedway. It's the Ambetter Health 400. It's going to be on Sunday, and we're going to be having live qualifying here for you guys with the audio from the Fox Sports One broadcast. And we hope you have a good time today. So make sure you're hitting that like button and subscribing to the channel if you are ready for some qualifying today. We are ready to see who gets on the pole. Of course, this is a new race to begin at the beginning of the year. Of course, we usually go to Fontana after the 500, but they have no longer the Fontana. The Fontana is being torn apart. Don't think we'll ever get back there, but the Atlanta Motor Speedway is now the second race of the year, so this is where we're at. Hope to see what happens. We'll see. It's going to be a lot of fun. Tomorrow we'll be bringing that to you live as well. So hope you have a good time today. We do have some emojis in the chat, just like we did for the Daytona 500 Speed Weeks, and we are ready. So let's go to the main thing so everybody knows we're here to do some qualifying. Let me get that going here. And there is the list of drivers that'll be going first. Let me get my viewer count up there. But thank you guys so much for tuning in this morning. Not sure how many times we'll be able to do the qualifying on Saturdays with the truck race and Xfinity race, but I wanted to add some free time today to do all of them. So I wanted to bring this guys to you guys. So but appreciate all the love that we've had on Speed Weeks. We had over 91,000 views and a whole bunch of about 700 subscribers, and it was been a great time. So we've went over 9K as well, so that is always a fun thing as well. There's another subscriber. Thank you so much. So welcome in, Triton. What's going on? Remember the Mater official tow truck of NASCAR. That's right, Tow Mater. That's right. So appreciate y'all hanging out with us this morning, and we'll see if we can get some more friends in here, as this is going to be a fun time today. We're going to have lots of streams. We have the Cup qualifying, we have the truck race today, we have the Xfinity race, and then we do basketball after that. So it's going to be an all-day affair. I hope you guys stick with me all day long, and I'm looking forward to seeing everybody most of the day here on the channel. So we're just waiting on the Fox broadcast to start here in about 7 minutes. I wanted to come on a little early, and we'll see here. Let's see if there's any bots out here doing this thing. Nope. Sounds good. All right. I like it. That's what we got. All right, so just waiting on it to come in. As you're coming on Pure Adrenaline Sport, this is the place to be for NASCAR streams. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. We've had some fun the last couple weeks here on the channel. So this last week we had a good time, and lots of friends, lots of new friends. So Betty says, thank you so much for doing the broadcast and qualifying this morning. Much appreciated. You're welcome, Betty. Thank you for your comments on Facebook as well. We do have a Facebook page, guys. Make sure you go check that out. We're over 100 followers on that, so we're just kind of growing on that side as well. We're broadcasting on Twitch, we're broadcasting on Facebook, and we're broadcasting on Twitter right now. So anybody that's watching on over there, say hello. Make sure you're saying hello in your chat, your respectable chat, and we'll see how it goes. So like I said, about 6 more minutes, we'll be bringing you the live audio of the qualifying. We'll see who gets on the pole. Of course, it's a two-round qualifying, as we like did in Daytona. Everybody will qualify first, and then the fastest 10 will go again for another thing. So, but thanks so much, guys, for tuning in. We'll see if we can get some folks in here for the qualifying. Thank you so much for the subscribe. Appreciate it. We're marching for 10K. 10K March. That's what we're going to call it, the 10K March. And hopefully in March, we might go to 10K. We'll see. It's going to be hard, but we'll try to do as much as we can. We got a lot of basketball coming up in March. A lot of NASCAR coming up in March. We got hockey. We got baseball spring training. So the March to 10K is, spoiler alert, BK wins the poll. You think so, Pure Adrenaline? I think this is going to be. I think this is going to be a Kyle Busch show this weekend. This is my thoughts. We'll see. He was pretty strong in the 500, and this is kind of a drafting uh, track again. I think he'll be there. I think I'm going with Kyle Busch to win the truck race this weekend. Today, I'm going with Kyle Busch to win the Ambetter Health 400 as well. So we'll see. Qualifying is going to be starting here in about 4 minutes. 4 minutes. Keep on hitting that like button, y'all. We're trying to get to 20 likes, and then we'll move on from there. But appreciate all the love, y'all. Keep on hitting that like button for us. That helps us get our name out too, as well. We do have emojis in the chat as well for memberships. We have the 11. We have Kyle. We have Joey. We have Kislowski, who Pure Adrenaline Sports says, could it be a Chase Elliott weekend? That'd be something. Kyle Larson could be strong this weekend. Could Blaney rebound? Could Logano rebound? And could Truex do something? So, of course, we don't have room for a whole bunch of emojis, but the more members we get, the more emojis we can use and go from there. So, anybody was up early watching the Amigos? Anybody up early watching the Elimination Chamber at 3 o'clock this morning? I woke up and made the mistake of going on Twitter and TikTok and noticed that all the winners are on there. So, no need to watch it. Looked pretty fun though. Looked pretty good. But like I said, we're gonna be going to the truck race right after this, probably about 30 minutes or so, or 45 minutes after this qualifying. We'll be going to what's up, Redeem Hendricks on the pole. Jimmy says. Jimmy says, "We'll see. We'll see what happens." 3 more minutes till qualifying comes on. Let me refresh this and let me go to my CloudBot and turn the NASCAR redeems on. But we are over 9,000. We're trying to get to 9,100 now. And we're going to be having a fun time today for sure. Let's see here. Harvick. Turned all those off. Okay, so everything should be good. Didn't get a chance to do any. Thank you for that subscribe as well. I didn't get a chance to do any of the redeems for truck races or Xfinity, but see if this shows its full schedule. Let's see. NASCAR. Just trying to find the link here on the Fox Sports app here. We'll be bringing you the live audio here as it comes on for NASCAR qualifying from the Daytona Beach. Not Daytona Beach, from Atlanta Motor Speedway. Sorry about that. FS1. All right, so look for FS1. Well, it doesn't show FS1. That's weird. Well, we'll just go. It's on Fox Sports 1, so hopefully they bring it on here. We'll just click on this right here because this will go right to it.
Right,
here we go, y'all.
On that pace still for at least an.
Still some fishing on FS1 Bassmasters Fishing Elite Series. 1 more minute. This should be ending here. Coverage continues now on bassmasters.com. With the Daytona 500 winner, we'll hopefully get a back-to-back races here. Right, Byron has been. There we go. Back to it. Here we go. Right now.
At Atlanta, cars are on the line. Drivers are at the ready on a beautiful, bright, windy, but sunny day. As at Daytona, no practice. No problem, we shall see. Last year here, B.J. McLeod and Christopher Bell spun out on their qualifying lap. So, Kevin, no practice, green racetrack. They say the track's a little bit dirty. How you feeling about this?
I'm nervous, Mike. I am so nervous for these guys because of the fact that the track is dirty, it's rough, and these guys want the most speed that they can get out of their cars, which means they don't drive very good, Clint.
What to look for? What did we learn last week in the 500? All right, that's the only gauge that I have to go off of. The manufacturers, let's look at those. 2 Fords on the front row.
Thank you,
McDowell
Larry.
and Logano for the big Great American Race. The rest of the Fords, maybe not so much. The Chevrolets, 11 years in a row they were on the pole with the Hendrick camp. That wasn't the case, but they got the job done when it counted, when the pay window opened. The Toyotas, very slow in qualifying, race very well. I think keep an eye on these Toyotas just like we did last weekend, Kevin. They made the grip when it counted, but they didn't get the job done.
Here is B.J. McLeod,
Prime Cup Series,
who has a best finish of 19th on this configuration at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Again, last year spun out on his qualifying attempt when he was the first car on a very green racetrack. This time he makes it all the way around.
Pretty nervous off the floor there,
Gavin.
Gosh, he about spun out again, but that's, as you see, the risk here is driving high. We don't see a lot of dirt, but the cars are very rigid to make speed, to keep the cars low, but the track is very rough. That is a bad combination for the driver inside the car because it does not feel comfortable.
Wait a minute. Why is it a bad scenario? Because if that thing bottoms out, what happens?
Well, usually the tires come off the ground and it'll spin out. And you see Harrison Burton up the racetrack right there. And what you want, when the car's driving good, you can yank on the wheel. And you want to be right against that red and white line down on the bottom. And that's when you know your car's driving pretty good. You see him go up the racetrack, and that's just giving up distance. So distance is very important in qualifying to get a good lap.
I like the distance versus speed. Obviously, shortest way around is always the fastest way around. But how do I build this speed? What goes into a good lap here for a driver, Kevin?
So Harrison
Let's go to pit road. Regan
crashed
Smith.
early in the 500.
Well, Mike, 2023 Series champ Ryan Blaney preparing for his qualifying lap here at Atlanta. Always good on these drafting tracks. 2 weeks in a row of 1 lap immediately onto the track with no practice. What do you look for different this week compared to Daytona?
Yeah, you know, obviously a little bit different animal here at Daytona, but still kind of the same idea, right? Drafting and understanding when to push, when not to. You know, getting the pitch strategy right, to position yourself up front. I enjoy this track. It's been aging nicely, I feel like, so that's good. Kind of handling's coming more into play, but yeah, just seeing how it drives qualifying, you know, seeing how rough it is. It'll change a little bit. You can make some adjustments for the race tomorrow, but
as well, the 500.
great to have body armor, zero sugar on our Ford Mustang. Been really good here in the past. Fords have been super fast. You know, qualifying at Daytona, we were really fast here last year, so hopefully we can repeat that speed and maybe find even a little bit more.
Thanks, Ryan.
Yeah, Gavin.
And that's your series champ, Ryan Blaney. Rookie Carson Hocevar on track. Had a short Daytona 500. This is his first Cup Series start here at Atlanta. He's second quick, 32 seconds flat. And we move to Austin Dillon. Yet to finish better than 20th here since they redid this racetrack.
All right, Kevin, I want you to explain to me, as a driver, as we're watching Austin Dillon, what goes into, what can you do behind the seat that goes into this big lap for qualifying?
Well, you got to get off a pit road good. You got to match the RPMs that the engine shop has given you to hit on your shifts, and you want to keep the car as close to that red and white line as possible to cover the least amount of distance, so that you don't give up anything from a distance standpoint. So all these guys are nervous about getting off a pit road,
trying to get
getting off the pit road. They want to make the track, as you see Michael McDowell here, all the way up against the wall, coming to the green flag, trying to get that car wound up to make as much speed and mile per hour into turn 1.
Hold on a second.
McDowell finished 4th here last July. Had mechanical issues at Daytona as Joey Logano fires up.
See him, they'll make him check his brakes. That's why there's 2.
Have to come to a complete stop right here.
Pull up.
See him.
He wants to show, he wants you to show him that you've used your brakes. They don't have him push back for speed, right? Heavens forbid. Can you imagine a team doing that, Kevin?
Oh, they're making him back up.
He didn't do it right.
Yeah.
He wants to see him hit the brakes.
Yeah, they want to see him hit the brakes hard enough to make the brakes actually stop, and they felt like he left it in gear to slow the car down and not hit the brakes properly.
Which he probably did.
Probably did. Probably did.
So McDowell's on the pole.
He's probably pumping.
22. They didn't say why. They just said back them up, do it again.
Might be pumping the brakes right now, Kevin.
Yeah, and a lot of times when you leave it in gear like that, it makes the car stop. And the way that he rolled up there last time, they didn't feel like he used the brakes properly. We saw a lot of games with that last week. Jimmy Johnson just kind of rolled through there, and NASCAR's like, not this week, boys.
Yeah, that's a ref calling a foul. That's what he saw. He called a foul, but no harm, no foul. He went it back there and made the adjustment.
Last year at Atlanta, Logano in the blue 22 on the outside of Brad Keselowski gets the bump from Christopher Bell.
Huge.
Joey Logano.
And that's the finish.
Well, as good as Joey Logano ran last week, he didn't get much to show for it. He's way down in the points, needs a good week. He needs that result again this week. Here we go into turn one.
What's going on,
use
Tommy?
the whole distance of the racetrack.
How you doing, bud?
There's Keselowski launching off the pit road while Joey's making his lap. See him lift to come up onto the racetrack over the banking. Going to shift into high gear here.
On the track right now. You said those 22s.
See, all it takes to shift is just a little bit of a burp of the gas, relieves the tension on that transmission, falls right into gear, back to wide open.
Showing my age there, Clint. We have 5 gears, not 4. Still took me a couple years. These cars have these new style next gen cars over the last couple years have 5 gears in the transmission, where you used to have the old 4-speed.
One thing I noticed there on his feet, and you've alluded to this, is these cars are bottoming out, the track having a little bit of character to it. When they do, that can wreak havoc on you. The car can get out from underneath of you and wreck. He had that left foot over the brake. He was ready for it. If that thing jumped out
James
from
Moore's
underneath
boy,
of him,
Keselowski on the track.
Yeah.
I mean,
you wouldn't see that
Keselowski.
maybe last week at Daytona. You'd just be out there easy peasy.
This is one of those racetracks where I always told myself, come for qualifying, be ready for anything, because it might spin out.
And that's exactly what I saw with Brad Keselowski's feet.
Well, do you see 2 Fords there? Michael McDowell with the pole speed, and Brad Keselowski fifth out of the 7. That tells me that he's got downforce and drag in his car.
Who was on the pole last week, Kevin? What, 2 cars?
Mike McDowell was on the front row.
And so was Logano.
That's right. They just swapped spots this week.
All right, Kaz Grala on track for his first Cup start at Atlanta. Regan.
Ross Chastain so close at the end of the Daytona 500 last week. You could see where you needed to be. How many times have you relived that race in your mind this week?
It's pretty cool to hear you say those words, Regan, but a lot until Tuesday at about, I don't know, 10 a.m. and then it was, Tuesday at 10 a.m. It was, then it was over. Couldn't look at it anymore. There's nothing else to do, but I Tuesday morning quarterback just like everybody else. So, there's a lot of things I can see that weren't exactly how I saw from in the seat, but on to Atlanta here with our Moose Fraternity Chevy. And, all right! Definitely learned our lessons last year here with just a lack of grip. We came here in 22 and had a lot of grip and speed, and then we came back in 23 and the track had lost grip and we did not account for it. So I asked Phil Search and these boys and girls at Trackhouse to please give me some more grip where I keep the loud pedal down. And
keep hitting that like button, y'all.
We'll see.
To get to 20
no telling.
likes.
Last year in qualifying here, I couldn't hold it wide open. I slid up the track.
I gotta
so
be on the pole,
that'll
but
be a
you
good
said he was
first
gonna
sign to
win,
see how
though.
this goes.
Good luck, Ross. Thanks.
Todd Gilliland on track, pacing Michael McDowell for fastest in this session. He led a career-high 16 laps last week in Daytona. Larry.
Yeah, I want to expand on what Ross Chastain just told Regan Smith. I talked to a lot of crew chiefs this week. I talked to Chris Gabehart with Denny Hamlin. I talked to Randall Burnett with Kyle Busch. And that was the big debate coming here. The 3rd year with this surface, the 5th race on this surface. Do we come trimmed out or do we come with downforce? I'm watching everybody qualifying. Everybody's running wide open. But to Kevin's point, who has put a little more downforce in the car, which hurts the drag, that should pay dividends in this race tomorrow.
Still no one touching McDowell.
Well, we got a couple things that factor into
he
that
wants
as we see Ricky Stenhouse here making his lap. The Chevrolets have raced their car. They know the balance. The Toyota and the Ford, they're guessing.
Doing good things, excited about the race.
They can't factor in how much grip that the racetrack has lost. They can only go off of what they did in the past, but they really don't know their car yet, so it's going to be all unfold tomorrow.
And Ricky Stenhouse clocks in 7th in his Chevrolet. Michael McDowell, fastest so far, trying to advance to the final round.
All right. Thanks so much for hanging out with us here on a happy Saturday morning to each and one of you. It is going to be a long day for us here on the channel. We're going to be bringing you the Xfinity truck race right after this, the Xfinity race right after that, and then we're going to try to do some college basketball depending on how I feel. But hope everybody has a good day today. Hope that hangs out right here. Don't go anywhere else. Stay right here with us. We're going to be hopefully they'll bring some in-car cameras to the trucks today. If not, we'll definitely do them during the Xfinity. And then tomorrow we're doing the NASCAR race. So it's going to be a big weekend here on the channel. Hope to get a whole bunch more subscribers. Our march to 10K has begun, and we're going to try to get there as fast as we can. So if you haven't hit the like button for us here today, make sure you do. And if you haven't subscribed to us yet, what are you waiting on? This is the place to be for NASCAR. We have so much fun. We have a great channel, great chat, and we're looking forward to hanging out with you guys on the weekends. I can't promise you to do every truck race, every Xfinity race, every qualifying. It depends on my schedule and what's going on. But I will try to bring to as much as I can, and we'll go from there. So thank you so much, guys, for everything. And got the cars for this weekend ready here. Got my boy right there, Diddy. Maybe he can have a better turn at things. Bring it down a little bit. It's kind of in my face. But William Byron, the Daytona 500 winner, he won here last year as well. Joey Logano, long day streaming. Yes, that's right. Stay hydrated. I will have me a drink and everything. I will see if I can pull it off. I know after the 500 and after the Xfinity race, my head hurt so much. I guess I didn't drink enough, and we're staring at a screen for 12 hours, which is going to happen today. But we're going to try. We're going to try to do it today. So appreciate all the love, y'all. If you're just coming in, Michael McDowell still on the pole right now. No one's really been able to touch him, but he's been the fastest. Of course, Michael McDowell during the 500, he had an electrical issue. Not much he could do about that. Kind of struggled through the whole 500, finished in the very back. But do you know he wants a second shot of trying to do something here? So Michael McDowell, it's just like this, like mini Daytona. So you know these two guys that were on the pole for the Daytona 500 or on the outside on the front row will be right at it again. All right, we're back at it.
So far, Daniel Suarez about to be released here to qualify. The qualifying order set by a combination of last year's or this year's point standings, fastest lap of the Daytona 500, and Daytona 500 finishing position. So Suarez will be the 11th driver to qualify. Finished second here last July.
Chase,
yeah, great run.
Number 9, Chase home race winner of race. You think so?
For Suarez.
Good talk about it.
Needs a good run,
now
right?
on the track.
Yeah, he went right to the top of the racetrack. Larry was just telling us there was some conversation on the radio about cars going straight up on the up to the high lane or creeping up there. You got to kind of go over the apron line and up onto the banking somewhat straight, or it will just absolutely destroy the rub blocks on the bottom of the car and scrub speed.
Huge tailwind here down the backstretch, which means huge headwind here on the front straightaway.
Well,
56
okay,
degrees
the tailwind's what worries
Atlanta.
me. That'll make you loose getting into 3, Kevin. It's something that this track's always been notorious for.
Yeah, we see Daniel Suarez right on the bottom of the racetrack and Blaney launching.
Ryan Blaney.
So bumping begins now that 10 drivers have qualified. Fastest 10
Blaney
advance
on
to the
track,
final round.
y'all.
And we see Suarez go through that turn 3, but with the wind blowing down the back straightaway and those bumps, it can get pretty hairy in there no matter if you're by yourself or not.
6th for Suarez. On the right of your screen, Blaney way up top.
Look at Gillen
Well,
up there in third.
Blaney's in a bit of a hole.
He was running pretty good too in the 500 until he
Took a
wrecked.
great end of the year. We see some guys who had a good finish to the race last week, got good points, a couple names you wouldn't expect in there. Guys who had some late accidents that did their job all week and got points and kept themselves in a good points position. And then there was the guys that just didn't gather any points all week, and Brad Keselowski, Joey Logano, Ryan Blaney in a hole. And,
True X.
you know, we talk about even Austin Dillon not on that list. He got 1 point last week. He is 53 points out of first place
Blaney
already.
way ahead of
after one race.
Hocevar on the top 10.
Yeah, well, a race, right? I mean, that's a big hole to dig yourself out of. Take you a month.
And we're right back at the same style racetrack. You could wind up there wrecked again. Regan.
Well, Martin Truex Jr., one of those guys that could use some points after Daytona. How unique is the schedule this year, starting off with 2 drafting tracks that could get you in a hole right away if you're not careful?
Yeah, it can, but I think also, you know, we learned a lot last week. Hopefully that'll work to our favor this weekend. So it's a little bit easier doing it this way. You know, you kind of get in that drafting Speedway mindset and do it 2 weeks in a row. So just playing off what we did last week and hopefully get a little bit better from there.
Thanks, Martin.
Well, fortunately, the Daytona 500 can make your season. I don't think it can break your season. It's the first of 36 races. They all offer the same amount of points. It's not a deep hole, but it is something to be concerned about as Justin Haley is out for his laps. 13th driver to qualify. Finished top 10 in 2 of his last 3 starts here.
Let's go back to what you just said. And it takes me back to what the last words that Kevin said out of his mouth in this point scenario. Having 2 of these back-to-back in a row is problematic. If you're part of that conversation that got beat up down there in Daytona, and you come here and stub your toe again and get caught up in it, what I told you, it takes you a month to get out of, and that's running well. It'll take you 2 or 3 months to get out of it. You're into the summer months of the regular season before you're ever back to where you want to be.
That is 100% fact. And having these 2 races back-to-back is not something that we normally do. So Josh Berry a little bit ahead of Justin Haley here, and I can promise you, coming to the green, that's the highest that 4 car's ever been on this racetrack.
Thank you for the subscribe, too.
Old catfish bottom feeder.
Berry finished 18th in his only Atlanta start. He was in the number 9 here. And he is 6th fastest. That will bump Justin Haley and move Ricky Stenhouse to the bubble.
Pretty wild after 14 cars. Last week's front row, McDowell and Logano are still 1-2.
Now here's Ryan Preece. Preece in the 41 and Noah Gregson in the 10, Larry, had parts confiscated in inspection here yesterday. What were they?
Yeah, it was part of the roof fins. You see that fin that runs from the windshield to the back window on the right side and the left side. Now, these are not single source parts. These are parts that are made by the team, but they did not meet configuration. Maybe possibly penalties later on next week.
Well, if there are penalties, they probably won't be small. And if they're not small, that hole that we just talked about with some of those other points gets even harder. So hopefully it's not a huge penalty if it is at all.
Yeah, that falls into the don't beat yourself category pretty quick.
So Preece is 8th.
In the top
that
10.
knocks out Stenhouse and moves Keselowski.
What's up, Rowdy? What's going on, man?
Tyler Reddick finished 5th here last March.
Well, this is going to tell us what Martin Truex was talking about really quick. If these guys learned what they needed to learn from qualifying last week and the speed in their cars compared to downforce,
Tyler Reddick,
and what their change in strategy is, because I don't believe that they'll probably have to change as much as the other brands did as far as the amount of downforce and drag that they add to their car compared to how they qualified last week to this week.
The ride looks pretty good on that car. Watching his in-car, Tyler Reddick. Pretty smooth, not near as rigid as we saw.
Like last week,
there was
right,
a big
Curtis?
bump, but pretty compared to what we saw last week and we were getting away with in Daytona. Seemed like it was relatively smooth.
Yeah.
He is 8th fastest. That bumps Keselowski and puts Suarez on the hot seat.
Oh, yeah.
3 wins here for Kevin Harvick, including his first career win, a day that nobody who was here will ever forget. Even people not named Harvick will never forget that day. But how about the difference in configurations with this racetrack?
Well, you can take all those stats and throw them right out the window, Mike. It was a very successful place, fortunately for us. But over the last 2 years, when they reconfigured this place and made it a part of the Super Speedway package, it is a totally different animal now in how you attack it, the cars that you bring to the racetrack, and really this Super Speedway in a mile and a half here just adds a whole new element that I had never dealt with a driver. So these guys are dealing with a lot.
AJ Allmendinger not in the track.
I hate to give you this credit, Kevin, but we had to.
Xfinity only.
You just sunk the show.
So we had to come up with
something. We had to change the rule. Something had to change.
All right, Josh Williams, 13th fastest. AJ Allmendinger was in that car last week. There'll be a variety of drivers, but Williams will do the bulk of the season. And here is Austin Cindric, was part of that last lap dust up at Daytona that had the race.
Y'all see the comments between him and LaJoy?
Has a 3rd place finish here. Cindric does in July of 2022.
AC, listen to
Chris
CLB
Buescher
coming up to speed. You see him reach back there, pull that window net forward a little bit.
22 has
open
been
up that gap, get a
real
little air flying out of the back of that window net.
Kind of super speedway kind
Cedric
of.
fourth. That puts 8 Fords, 1 Chevy, 1 Toyota in the top 10 right now. Ryan Preece to the bubble.
Buescher now on the track.
Green light, lower right corner of your screen, indicates Buescher is faster than the 10th place car.
By a car length. If you're just coming in, make sure you hit that like button. 200 of us here. We can get those 100 likes pretty quick. Help us get to 100 likes yet.
That margin holding pretty steady right now.
27 likes so far.
You hear a big bump right here.
Big bump.
Yeah, and that's actually from where they repainted the line, and it's a little below the actual pavement seam from the racetrack to the apron.
All right, Buescher is 7th. Michael McDowell still on top of the chart.
All right, kind of deja vu from last weekend. Michael McDowell, Joey Logano, Todd Gilliland, Austin Cindric, Ryan Blaney, Austin Dillon. It's almost the same qualifying that it was last week, last Wednesday. So if you guys are just coming in, my name is CeeLo. On the Go at CeeLo is the channel. If you did miss us last week and don't know who we are, we do NASCAR here on the channel, and we try to bring you to every weekend as much as possible. But today we have a lot on store for you guys, so make sure you're leaving this as your home right here all day. We're going to have the truck race coming up after this on a separate stream, so make sure you go over there and like that. And then go over there and like that stream. And then we have the Xfinity race right after that. Make sure you like that one. And then we do some college basketball right after that, if I'm still feeling all gung-ho. But it's going to be a long day, but I want to do this for you guys. And don't get this opportunity to do all the races here at once. So I can't promise I'll do them all the time, but I will try my best. So thanks so much, guys, for the subscribes. Make sure you hit that like button. We're trying to get to 100 likes on this stream. And mainly subscribe. We're trying to get to 10K. That's our new goal. 10K March to 10K is what we're going to call it. And we're looking forward to getting to that big 10K subscriber count. That's really most important. So make sure you hit that subscribe for us and join our channel. We have so much fun. If you want to become a member as well, we have, what's up, Brian? What's going on? We have emojis as well for you guys too, for members, for all the drivers. Not all of them, but the more members we get, the more emojis we get. So right now we have 9, I think. Thank you for that like on Facebook, Joe. Appreciate you being over there. I can watch if you want to chat we're streaming on Twitch, we're streaming on Facebook, we're streaming on Twitter and YouTube. YouTube's always going to be our main platform right here on YouTube. But make sure you're chatting as well. I can see your chats as well on our multi-stream chat. So good to see everybody here. And we'll be bringing the audio back here in just a second as we are having some fun today. Ross is fixing for a big season. Yeah, he kicked it off right where he kicked it off in Arizona, right? At Phoenix. And let's see what he can do. He almost won the 500. If he wouldn't have got clipped, he probably would have won the 500. So, all right, back to it right here.
19 drivers have had their turn at the stopwatch, and the top 10 are on the board. Tyler Reddick on the bubble with a 31.43. Ross Chastain will be the next qualifier. He finished runner-up here in both races in 2022, but did not have a top 10 here last year. Kevin, you talked with Shane Van Gisbergen yesterday about qualifying here. You know, no practice, just jump out, get on the racetrack. What did he say?
Well, he said it was one of the crazier things that he's ever done, and it was really, really rough compared to what they've been doing in the simulator. And that's very common. Like when you go to the simulator, you just don't get the same feel of the car that you do in real life, and the bumps are just way more rigid in person than they are from a simulation standpoint. But this guy on the racetrack did a heck of a job last week, leading that race and blocking and doing all the things that he needed to give him a chance to win the Daytona 500. So that was fun to watch. It was intense.
You were going to have to wreck him to pass him.
Yes,
to win that Daytona 500, he was either come hell or high water. He was going to win the race. You're going to have to wreck him. You had two of the best super speedway drivers in Logano and Keselowski, and neither one of them could get around that car.
He's just outside the top 10. And
Chastain may not advance to the final round here.
Gonna have to push it a little bit. Reddick's got him by
I don't think
half
that's surprising. You heard him talk about his car and how he wanted more downforce in the car, and that tells me that they have definitely listened to their driver wanting to keep the throttle pedal down to be able to drive it tomorrow over the bumps and with somebody pushing him.
Why do we want that handling?
And he does
I don't care about leading the first lap of this thing. I need to lead lap 35. Somewhere deep into a run, I need to still be able to hold the throttle down wide open. If you can do that, Kevin, that same principle is always applied at this racetrack. If you can beat them on a long run, hold that throttle down longer, you will prevail.
Handling will be an issue at this particular racetrack because the speeds are going to pick up, and everything that happens when you get the pack out there, it's just hard to drive these cars with this particular racetrack and the way it's laid out with all the bumps and how short it is.
What's up? Made up username.
Rookie of the Year Ty Gibbs had an Xfinity Series win here. In 2022, he finished 9th in this race a year ago, and it looks like Tyler Reddick is going to hold on to 10th spot for now. Gibbs is 15th. Regan?
What a week it has been for William Byron. Now Daytona 500 champion William Byron. Has that fully sunk in yet?
No, it's still sinking in, but I think honestly,
let me see those 24s in the chat, y'all. 24s for William Byron, your 500 champion.
Just experiencing that with them. So I feel like once I saw some of those and watched the race back, it felt pretty. It started to sink in. But yeah, just excited to be back at Atlanta. Raptor Chevy hopefully will be nice and smooth here in qualifying and get ourselves a good starting spot, and just excited to be back in the race car
today.
and doing our work.
Only
that's
10
kind of
will
where
move
my
on.
quiet place is.
Mike straight from a place where he won last week in Daytona to a place that he's got 2 wins at. A lot of confidence for William.
Thanks, Regan.
Zane Smith, the rookie. He's going to finish 17th.
William Byron's done a great job. Now he's Daytona 500 champion, and now we've got
my boy Denny. Let's
Hamlin
go, boy.
I've got my eye on Denny Hamlin. Obviously, can get the job done when you talk to super speedway type of racing, plate style racing,
See
drafting.
those 11s
if you will.
in the chat.
But the speed in the Toyotas, we talked about at the top of the show. There was no speed in these Toyotas last week at Daytona, Kevin, but all of a sudden in the race, they had the efficient downforce.
Right,
you see
Reddick.
His teammate, Gibbs at a 15th place, 31.48, and the only other Toyota gone so far is Reddick in the 45 at 31.43 and 10th. Let's see if shows that he might be able to best Reddick a little bit, right? But still not going to be a pole run for Toyota.
Yeah, and we talk about Denny Hamlin's success. Most all of that came in the old car. This is just it's a different breed, and we watched him last week, and he makes it into the top 10, 8 for Denny Hamlin. But we watched him last week, and just never really materialized. He got himself towards the front, but just never controlled the front of the race.
All right, Zane Smith has also completed his qualifying lap. He was 17th, now 18th quickest in the number 71. Here is Daniel Hemrick in the 31, making his first Cup start on the new Atlanta Motor Speedway layout. Chase Briscoe rolling.
Feet footage.
That pedal went down quite a bit, Kevin.
One set of those brake pads must be pushed back because that pedal went way further than it was supposed to go down.
It actually took a pump or two to get it to stop.
See him put that foot right back up there on the brake pedal, because I can't stress to you guys enough at home just how intense this is for the drivers because of the handling of the car and just not knowing. But that foot's right next to that brake pedal for a reason.
I'm looking at the top 5, all Fords. The whole top 5 is owned by Fords. Now we're on board with Chase Briscoe and his 14 car Stuart Haaskamp. They were really fast here last year, had the speed. Couldn't get the job done when the money was on the line, but they did have a lot of speed.
I don't think he's going to be in the top 10.
How he stacks up.
Now Briscoe.
Well, we see another Ford, Harrison Burton there.
Briscoe now.
Him being compared to, and we talked last week about how rough his car was riding. This week, not so much. The times you see him move are going to be over the natural bumps on the racetrack, and
he's got
his car
Burton
looks to be driving fairly good
out of the way
for him through the corners as far as the ride goes. And you'll see him hit one more bump right here. That's probably the biggest bump on the track right there in the quad oval.
5th for Briscoe. That will bump Burton
wow.
and move Josh Berry on the hot
he's
seat.
fast at Super Speedways, that 14.
And 4th.
Highpoint.com.
Martin Truex Jr.
Martin Truex Jr. in the Bass Pro Shop.
Best finish on the new Atlanta 19. Configuration is 8th. And by new, we mean newly repaved and rebanked and turned from a 1.5-mile quad oval into really a true super speedway the way this races.
Well, that was certainly the vision, right? Marcus Smith and company at SMI.
They slower than Daytona
super
though,
speedway.
week,
Thought
right?
that we had the need.
Still a super speedway though.
I love that I love the move and I love the vision of it, and I think it's really sparked a new interest in Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Denny Hamlin, the only Toyota in the top 10 right now. Truex trying to change that against Josh Berry for 10th. And does. Truex is in for now. Regan.
Bubba Wallace knows a thing or two about these drafting racetracks. Bubba, Atlanta looking like it's really weathering a lot. How much of an effect was your preparations going into tomorrow?
It's weathering a lot. Like you said,
I can't show qualifying either. It's like it's a broadcast.
I'm glad we're not having any issues in qualifying. Knock on wood. But yeah, it just shows like from year 1 to year 2, year 3, you got to be on top of it. Our team does a really good job at studying that stuff.
It's just like a broadcast.
How much it has changed in our briefing meeting on Wednesday. So, yeah, qualifying, go out and hold it wide open, and hopefully for no sketchy stuff, and have a good day.
All right, good luck in qualifying. Thanks, Bubba.
Noah Gragson on track, finished 9th in the Daytona 500, but like Ryan Preece, had some parts confiscated in inspection. We'll hear more about that Tuesday.
Yeah, and one interesting comment that Bubba made, the engineers, as we see Noah,
you're welcome,
is 12th. But one interesting comment that Bubba made about the engineers talking about the surface, they will actually take pictures of the texture of the surface and the picture of just the color of the surface to compare them to each other, and then actually Goodyear does a study of the surface to tell you about the texture of that surface. And so they do that from year to year to understand and guess a little bit as to what that grip level is going to be on the track.
Well, here's the hometown hero, Chase Elliott, who won here in July of 22. On this new configuration, trying to put his Hendrick Chevy into the top 10.
Denny's
right now, the
only
only Chevy in the top 10 is Austin Dillon's.
I know. Thanks.
And this is very similar to last year, as we see Chase come to the start-finish line.
So Denny stays in 10th.
And Elliott is 22nd fastest. As we come down to the final group, Denny Hamlin holds on to the 10th and final transfer spot.
You are.
All right, so we got, here's the rest of the drivers left. Kyle Busch, Kyle Larson, Eric Jones, John Hunter Nemechek, Corey LaJoie, Alex Bowman, Bubba Wallace, William Byron, and Christopher Bell are your remaining guys to see who could be in the top 10. Remember, in the top 10 will go again here in the next round, and that will decide the poll. But it's starting to look awful familiar from last week on the qualifying. It's awful familiar. With McDowell and Logano, Cindric, Blaney, Dillon, and all those guys up there. So we'll see if Denny can stay in the top 10. It's going to be tough, though. There are lots of good drivers coming up here pretty soon. So make sure you're hitting that like button, y'all. We're trying to get to 60 likes, y'all. 60 likes as quick as we can. That'll be our new goal, 60 likes. And subscribe. That's the main important. We're trying to get to 9,100. If you like NASCAR, this is your channel for you. It's almost like Fords are fast. Yeah. Look at them. 1 through 6 right now. And they might be 7, 8, 9. You know, we'll see. How many Fords we got left? How many Fords we got left? No Fords left. So it's Chevys, Toyotas are left. Chevys and Toyotas. So there's your Fords. Let's see if the Toyotas or the Chevys can cause some havoc here, but I don't think so. Mosh is, I think I remember your preview video. You're going with, who was it? Keselowski? No, who'd you go with? I can't remember. I'm going Kyle Busch. I'm going Kyle Busch this weekend. Thank you for that subscribe. Who you got again, Mosh? I forget. Who was it? Chase Elliott. That's right. Hometown boys got Chase Elliott going for the win. I'm going Kyle Busch. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be an interesting race. But he thinks Chase is going to bounce back pretty strong. He was strong. Led a couple laps in the 500. But back here to the audio for you guys. as the last couple of drivers here in this first round of qualifying. Next week is an easy pick, yes.
To go, fastest 10 will advance to the final round and run for the Busch Light pole. Denny Hamlin holds the 10th spot right now, as Kyle Busch, who finished 12th at Daytona despite multiple issues and top 10 in both Atlanta races last year, rolls out.
Woohoo! Marcus
right
says
to the top
Truex.
Of the track, that is.
Yeah, he's just trying to get as much distance as he can, as quick as he can.
Here goes Rowdy. Let's see if we can get on the pole here.
Get that car up to speed.
See my
get as much
eights in
heat
the
into
chat,
the car.
y'all.
All the drivetrain.
8s in the chat. I know Rowdy Busch is out there.
See the gyro cam there as it goes into that banking.
Yeah, that's right. One more championship.
Busch trying to join teammate Austin Dillon.
Looks like
in
Kyle's
the top
gonna knock
10.
Denny out of the top 10. No pole for Denny, as Kyle's got him by a whole car length.
And does with a 6th place
There
run,
it is. Gets him
knocking
out.
Denny Hamlin out of the final round. Kyle Larson hasn't finished 3 of the last 4
There's some
Atlanta
Rowdy
races.
fans tonight watching. Bubba
Trying to
already
get
did.
his first win on a
I
drafting
guess so.
track.
Did they even show it?
Right now, 7 Fords, 2 Chevys, and Truex's Toyota
going 35th.
in the 10 that will advance.
He's going 35th.
Last year in
Larson,
qualifying, the
he
Fords
could knock
were
Truex
1st
out.
through 8th in this race.
It
and
might be
1st
all
through
Fords and
6th
Chevys in the
July.
top 10.
Eric Jones launching.
Oh, Rowdy.
Larson's going to be close against Truex to bump in. Larson 10th.
Larson
knocks Truex out
another
by
Toyota out of the top
2/100ths
10.
of a second.
Here comes Eric Jones.
Oh, Eric Jones loose up in the top of the
Whoa,
race.
he's still loose. Hold on to it, Eric.
Thought he was going to
What
lose
a
it.
save, Eric Jones. That car.
Came down the hill quick.
I'd say, Cowboy, that is big time loose.
Yeah, you hear spotter Rick Corelli there talking to the crew, but that's what we've been talking about the whole time. At any time during this.
Boy, I wouldn't want to go back in the next corner. That's what I was going to say.
Oh, he is
that is
wild.
a terrible
Oh, my God, look at
feeling
him.
when you're that loose in one end, knowing you got to do it again.
Driving. Hit forward.
It is out of control.
Literally with his steering wheel. He's
Take
running
care of it.
last.
Yeah.
Well, he did.
Where'd he
And
qualify at?
We have been talking about this from the very beginning, and
Yeah,
this is just it just
31st.
loses grip, and they've just got that car probably pinned down too much with the shocks to hold it down, and
He almost spun.
and right there he was already nervous, and that
McDowell in top 3
massive
again.
corrections,
I know.
and a lot of these cars
Well,
that
it's
drive
super
good,
speedway kind
they're
of.
on the edge
You know,
of
this
doing
is-
this,
this is
and
his
that's the
thing.
balance
And
that we
that
talk
road
about from
courses.
handling to speed. How much do I tie this car down to try to get it around
All
the
right,
corner
the best
fast?
paint scheme of the night.
As Buddy
The
Baker
Dick
used to
this
say,
weekend.
His
John Hunter
teammate,
Nemechek,
probably the
I
same
think,
setup,
personally.
same principle applies.
The
He did not
42.
want to see his teammate Eric Jones out there, the car in front of him, that loose.
No, John Hunter Nemechek. Buddy Baker used to say he started that wreck, he just didn't finish it.
That was a heck of a save.
This car's nervous too. You see him, he was guarded
He's
getting
way
into the corner,
behind Larson.
Kevin. Not a big arc at all,
One,
getting into
two,
3.
About 5 car lengths behind
Nemechek
Larson.
finished a career best 7th at Daytona last week, but he will qualify 29th. Corey LaJoie.
Corey LaJoie.
9 top 10s, all in on drafting tracks. And there are his top 10s. His spotter, TJ Bell's wife, had their baby during stage 1 of the 500 last week. So congratulations to the Bells. Banks Bell is
That's
the
crazy.
young boy's name.
He was racing in
Yeah,
the
Corey
labor.
is, really found his home in these super speedways. Is patient, always there, getting to the end of it, survival of the fittest, and he's always seems to be there. But Atlanta in particular, I'll never forget him blocking those guys off. Missed that last block one more time, and unfortunately got beat here. But I think if a win's coming in his future, it's coming at a track just like here in Atlanta.
Well, for it to come tomorrow, he'll have to come from deep in the field. 28th fastest for LaJoie. Alex Bowman, the Daytona 500 runner-up. And tomorrow, during our Ambetter 400 telecast, we'll show you replays of that final lap in Daytona and how the order of finish was determined. But Bowman, second place, his first top 5 since the Indy Road
Bowman
Course
is in 32nd
in 2023.
zone, 1 second behind Xfinity.
See, just a little bit off of his teammate for
Bowman
that last
right behind
and final
Larson.
10th
Larson's
spot.
going to hold the
So
top
important.
10. He's got about him
You
a
make
car
that
length.
final 10, you're saying I got a chance. The boys can get one last chance and maybe do something, find some magic to get you speed. Must be in that final 10.
Well, we saw it last week. And
we got it back.
We see Alex Bowman 16th quick right there. We saw it last week from the first round to the second round. There was a massive difference in the way that the cars picked up. So you just never know exactly whose car is going to pick up more.
PJ?
And some of them are just going to run the same
PJ,
speed.
Sorry. What's up, man?
Here is Bubba Wallace, finished 5th in
That's
last
low,
week's
okay.
Daytona 500. Still looking for his first top 10 at Atlanta, however.
About now, is that better?
There are no Toyotas in the top 10 right now, and 2 of them left to qualify, Wallace and Bell.
Well, they're better than they were last week as far as qualifying speed goes, and I think that makes a lot of sense with what Martin Truex Jr. said about
Alan,
what
is
they
it better
learned,
now?
and also the difference in what the other manufacturers had to do to make their cars have more downforce, like we talked earlier. So I think they're definitely better than they were last week in comparison on qualifying.
Well, it shows you that there is juice there. You're right. The speed is there. It's just how much.
Byron, the 500 champ,
Robin Peter to pay Paul
on the track.
You need some downforce. You need drag, obviously. But if you don't have the speed, you're not going to be able to. Say you get up there, you're not going to be able to hold them off without speed.
So Wallace was 17th. Here is Willie B.
So Bubba was
the Daytona
17th.
500 winner, William Byron.
Now William Byron and then Christopher Bell.
And in his last 35 races, wow, average finish 9.6.
Rudy Fugle.
Wow is right, and they've just gelled as a team, and that communication with each other, with your engineers, and everything being as one and being able to communicate and guide the ship. I think we're seeing these guys mature right in front of our eyes as a group, and they're just going to keep getting better, in my opinion.
I think, Kevin, I watched it with so many different people.
Raptor
I can give
24
you example after example, and you're sitting next to me. I'll use you. When you got, go ahead. Barely missed that one.
2/1000ths of a second.
That's as close as it gets, but it takes
Just
me back
missed
to you
out
and
of the top
Rodney.
10.
When you guys got paired up, boom, magic.
McDowell's gonna be on the pole,
championship.
possibly.
It really took you to exactly where you
We'll
need
see
to
what happens
be,
in the second round.
competition-wise. When he
You're going
got
with the
paired
7?
up with his
Yeah,
guy,
that's
back
interesting
with Rudy
pick.
Fugle, that made
Christopher Bell. Let me see
Christopher
those
Bell
20s.
will be the final qualifier. Trying to put one Toyota into the top 10.
Hard to believe. One top 10. Just give me one.
Well, from what I remember last year in qualifying, he's not going to be the one that's going to have the most speed in his car because he had a lot of moments like John Hunter and Eric Jones did last year. He had a handful in qualifying.
Doesn't look like it's going to happen.
He's not either. So Larson's going to move into the top 10.
Christopher Bell,
Stay in the top
22nd. So the top 10 is set. 7 Mustangs and 3 Camaros will run
No
for the pole in
Toyotas.
Atlanta next.
There's your 11 through 37. That'll stick for the rest of the race. Byron, Truex, Hamlin, Barry, Gregson. Let me turn the commercial off. Sorry about that. Gregson, Harrison Burton, Alex Bowman, Bubba Wallace, Tyler Reddick, Ryan Preece, Ross Chastain, Christopher Bell, Daniel Suarez, Keselowski in 24th, Gibbs 25th, Hamrick 26th, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. There's Chase back in 28th, Zane Smith in 29th, Josh Williams in the 16 car. No Allmendinger this weekend. Justin Haley in the 31st. Corey LaJoie in 32nd. He's going to have a lot to run back up, Jason, if he's going to win this thing. Kaz Grala gets his first race, 33rd. John Hunter Nemechek in 34th. Carson Hocevar in 35th. And BJ McLeod in 36th. And Eric Jones, who almost wrecked his car. That's why he's so low. He had to come off the gas there. So there we look for the top 10 now. They'll adjust this and we'll see how it goes. But thank you guys so much for tuning in today on the Go at CeeLo. Appreciate it. Vaughn says, really appreciate what you're doing for us. Thank you for the coverage on qualifying today. You're welcome, Vaughn. Try to do my best for you guys. Can't promise to do it all the time, but when I am available, I'll try to do my best. As he starts 7th in the trucks. Oh, yes, that's a good shot, but I think Rowdy's going to win the truck race. Hands down, Rowdy's going to win the truck race. 34 and 22, deja vu all over again. That's right, PJ. If you look at the top 10, most of those drivers were in the top 10 for Daytona as well. But it's kind of a mini Daytona, they call it here. So, but in the pin message above in the chat, y'all, just make sure you go and click on that. Put a remember on that, the notification when we go live. We'll be doing the truck race right after this, after qualifying's over. We'll have like a little break, and we'll be back live for you for the truck race. So stick with us. And then after that, we're doing the Xfinity race. So make sure you're with us all day. Just waiting on the be back for the truck race. Awesome. All right, so there's the top 10. Austin Cindric's going to go first. Austin Dillon, Kyle Larson, Kyle Busch, Ryan Blaney, Chase Briscoe, Chris Buescher, Joey Logano, Michael McDowell, and Todd Gilliland. So there is your list. We'll see who's going to get the pole. Let me see your predictions in these 10 right here. Let me see your predictions in the 10 that are here. What do you think? What do you think? Jake's going Briscoe. Jake, where's your seats at for today? Where's your seats at? Coming back to the audio here in just a second, guys. Hopefully a Penske car, JD says.
Here's what 2 1,000ths of a second looks like at 177 miles an hour. The 5 of Kyle Larson advances to round 2. The 24 of William Byron does not. Coming up today on
Sportszilla says Kyle Larson.
Xfinity Series.
We have 5s in the chat. Let's see those 5s. Anybody think Kyle Larson's going to get the pole? There's some
Jesse Love
5s
on the pole 2 weeks in a row. First time any driver in the series has ever won 2 poles in his first 2 races. The action
Section
starts today,
242. Are you there now?
This one, and it's a double header with the Craftsman Truck Series. Daniel Dye and Tyler Ankrum will lead the trucks to green. How many will make it to the finish? Regan.
Well, Mike, another week, and Michael McDowell very fast again with his Front Row Motorsports Ford. You're doing your best to live up to the team name right now. What do you got to do in round 2 to make sure you stay on that front row when the race starts?
Yeah, it's been awesome. Just everybody at Front Row have done a great job with this Bennebone Dark Horse Mustang. You know, sitting on the front row for round 1's awesome, but we got to get it done for round 2. So excited to have a really fast car again. Times are really close, so it's just going to be about executing. But proud of the effort, proud of the speed. Looking forward to this next round. Hopefully get my first career pole. But if not, we know we got a fast hot rod for tomorrow.
Thanks, Michael.
Well, it's deja vu all over again. Michael McDowell and Joey Logano are fastest. They had the front row at Daytona. Here are the 10
man. What's up? Thank you, buddy.
Will go for the pole.
It's Braves time too, man. Braves time. First preseason spring training game, not on television, of course, just radio only. Awesome. Good deal, man. It's all radio though, right? It's not on TV. That's why I didn't do it. But we'll be definitely doing our fair share of Braves games, so I'm not too worried about it. But awesome, dude. If you like Braves, make sure you check out Clan. He does Braves just like us. Hey, CeeLo, what's up? Kenneth Clark, what's going on? Time for Brad to get a pole and a checker flag. That's right, man. He deserves it. He got screwed out like last week. But someone was saying that he was doing the pushing, and that's what caused the big wreck. But we'll see what happens. But thanks for the subscribes, y'all. That's the main part. We're trying to get to 10K, and we're 900 away now for 10K. Maybe we can make a big dent in that today. We made a huge dent in it to get to 9K last weekend. So let's see if we can get there again, y'all. Thank you guys so much. We're about 33 away from 100. If you guys can get us to 100 likes, that'd be awesome. 100 likes, 67 likes right now. But mainly important, hit that subscribe. Corey is my guy. All right. That's a good pick, too. It's a good pick. Thank you for the subscribes. Last year we did NASCAR. We did every race except 4, I think. We didn't do Bristol at night because I was there. We didn't do NASCAR. I was there. We didn't do the road race because I was out of town. And Talladega, I was out of town. So those were the races I didn't do. Just joined. Awesome, PJ. Thanks for subscribing. And was my audio better with the audio on? Was it better now? Because I turned the audio down just a little bit so the mic would come up a little more. Jason's going Corey LaJoy to win tonight or tomorrow. And we'll be bringing that live to you tomorrow as well. 22 for 2 poles in a row. Judy's going 22. If you're a 22 fan, we have some emojis you can use during the races and celebrate your driver. The 22 right there. No, not today. Not today. It's not only on TV. It's only on radio only. I thought about doing it, but we'll do it when it's on TV. What's up, Molar Man? What's going on? Make sure you check him out. Hello from the mail truck. Awesome, dude. Make sure you check out Anthony the Molar Man. He does a good job as well. 9 for the pole. Kenneth Clark says 9 for the pole. Is he? Nope, he's not in there. So he didn't make the top 10. He did not make the top 10, Kenneth Clark. So he will not be getting the pole today. Thank you for that subscribe. Yeah, it's not on TV today. It's only radio only. But it might be free on MLB Network.
He probably stayed up late listening to Kevin Harvick's podcast. Here's what's
This guy's passed out on the grass.
The week before, my wife and I, Delana, got married in Las Vegas.
That was on the documentary.
Yeah.
Did you know they got married in Vegas?
I didn't know.
I didn't either.
I actually didn't know you guys got married in Vegas.
Because people always joke, like, let's get married in Vegas. They actually did it.
It was a neutral site.
A neutral site.
Well, it was neutral.
Did anyone
for the
check out
because
the
my family's
happy,
from the West Coast?
happy
all
hour
the race
with
team
Kevin Harvick?
was going to the
podcast?
race in Las Vegas.
All right.
Easy flight to get there.
Boys, I've
Thank
been
you,
there,
Anthony.
exactly where that guy was lying, and he was not
Liam
watching
says
the
38 for the
podcast.
pole,
He was in a
front row
bar somewhere
domination.
last night, and he is
Wouldn't that be
severely
something?
hurt right
Look at that.
now.
Look at that piece of pizza.
That is
huge.
how you deliver to fans right there. Look at that thing.
You got to use a plate to hold it.
Is that a pizza plate or a hubcap?
Yeah, that isn't a paper plate. That's the
Those
whole
pizzas
bottom
are
of the-
about-
That is awesome.
those little 24-inch
That is a concession
pizzas.
stand.
Look at that shirt.
delicacy.
Number 4.
You passed out on the grass
for that.
before.
They call those vintage.
But we've got to get to Regan.
Well, Mike, unfortunately, Eric Jones not going to advance to round 2 in qualifying. That's the bad news. The good news is you're not going to have to roll a backup car. That looked like one heck of a save. How was it in the car?
Yeah, I mean, I was telling you, it's kind of one of those ones you feel like you're about to give up on it and kind of let it spin out. But, yeah, it was obviously a lot looser than what I anticipated. So it was exciting. Not the kind of excitement we were really hoping for in qualifying, but, you know, glad we have a car in one piece.
Yeah,
we can go ahead and fix it up for tomorrow. Hopefully have a good advent camera.
He
for
was
the race.
all over
But,
the
yeah,
place.
Way more exciting than I thought.
Thank you,
Atlanta
Terry, for
qualifying
that
would be.
subscribe.
Thanks for the highlight reel for us, though.
Very, very exciting there for Eric Jones, who won't make it into the final round. There's an old Yogi Berra story about, Yogi, you want your pizza cut in 6 slices or 8? Better make it 6. I don't think I can eat 8.
That is a piece of pie.
One. That's
All right,
one.
All right, we
Kevin, I
are
love
20,
what Michael McDowell was talking about.
24
Comes
away
down to
from
the
100,
details,
y'all.
little crumbs. I've heard you say it 1,000 times. Michael McDowell, the fastest car, he's only a couple hundreds. There's only a couple hundreds separating these top 4 or 5 cars. What do I need to do to make sure that I'm on the pole?
Well, you have to get off of pit road right first, and that is to not have too much wheel spin, hit all your marks from your RPM shift points. We heard Larry say that he shifted to fifth gear sooner than the other guys shifted to fifth gear.
What does that tell you?
That tells you that you need to adjust your shifts.
Tells me you got a better launch.
You got a good launch, but it could be
front rows
RPM,
on
but
the
it
front,
also tells you, you're exactly right, you got a good launch and got up to speed quicker. So the engine guys and everybody will have already looked at everything that they need to talk about, or talk through everything that they can talk about with SMT and have looked at. So you got to hit all the little things right, and then don't chop on that wheel. All the drivers know what to expect now. They know not to be sawing on the wheel. They can probably get a little closer to the white line down on the bottom of the racetrack to try to get every little piece of distance that they can shaved off this lap.
I like that too. And you have a chance, right? You're looking at data, just like you said with the teams, the drivers are too. They got out, they got that computer in the window. All right, look here, your launch wasn't quite as good as his, just like Larry told us. He got to fifth gear quicker than everybody else. It tells me I got to do a better job on my launch and getting up through the gearbox if I'm going to compete for Michael McDowell for this pole.
Yeah, we're talking thousandths of a second here.
Yeah, and one unique thing that changes from the first round to this round is no brake check, because obviously the brakes work and everybody's checking. So you're going to see them take straight off and up the racetrack. And all these guys are going to feel more comfortable and do a better job. So it's going to come down to who does it the best, and also
not right now.
Whose stuff goes faster now that everything
Here goes
is
Larson. We saw those fives.
Yeah, you see Kyle right up to the top of the track, making this
see
track
those fives.
as big as
Larson on the
possible,
track.
getting that baby wound up before you get back to the green flag.
We've seen these Hendrick cars here over the first four races be as good as anybody here. You see the left front tire right down on that white line. That red line is actually where the seam in the asphalt is, so you can actually cover that top white line with the left side tire if you're doing it perfect.
And same rules as at Daytona. The double line is part of the racetrack, but you don't go below it. Chris Buescher getting ready to launch. Larson 31.
No, she's not holding my launch.
He picks up 17 100ths of a second over his first round time.
Let's listen to his in-car.
All right, Buescher now. Let's see if Larson can hold the pole.
Pretty good being able to get the throttle down, not much wheel spin. Too much wheel spin can hurt you.
Reach up there, grab that window net one more time. Get that hole a little bigger in the back of the window net.
23 to go to 100.
Pulling it forward just to get a little bit of drag out of the back of the window net. Just creates a little bigger hole right there. Put your hand up next to the window.
Guys. Here goes
you can
Buescher.
See that gap you're talking about right here on the other side of his helmet.
It's actually blown back since he's taken off, but see his hand up there trying to block the distance between the A-post bar and the A-post itself to block that air. Puts his hand back on the wheel. That's not something that we saw him do at Daytona.
About a half a
car
length.
That it's just much harder to drive it through the corner here than it was at Daytona.
A lot bigger corners. You're talking about a 2.5. This is a mile bigger racetrack than this place.
I can't stress how difficult this track is to drive for the drivers because of the bumps and the balance between grip and not having grip, and the drivers are just uneasy all the time.
And how tight those corners are again compared to Daytona.
31.29 for Buescher. He picked up only 3 100ths from his first round speed. Larry?
You know, we saw the same thing at Daytona in qualifying, faster in the second round. So much of that comes from just heat in the hubs, heat in the gearbox, and the transaxle. You can make very few adjustments between the two rounds. You can adjust air pressure, rear jack bolts. All you can do as far as cooling the water down in the radiator is take a fan and blow it through the grill opening. You can't use the cool down machine.
Yeah, I think Buescher and company will be a little
Mark
bit
can't
frustrated
show
that
any of
not
the
a big
broadcasts.
pickup, not
That's
near as big
big time
as what we saw with
copyright,
Larson
and
from the
I don't want to get taken
31.34 to
down.
that 31.17.
Even though some people do it.
For Buescher.
I know, a little bit.
Austin Dillon, 31.31 on his first round.
Needs a big weekend. Tough luck scenario last week for Austin Dillon. Making this final 10 right here. This is a good pep in your step, momentum change for you and your race team. Exactly
Larson
what the
still
doctor
have
ordered.
it here.
He
Austin
left
Dillon.
with one point from Daytona. 1 point, Clint.
That was the attendance point.
Yeah.
Yep, last place.
Awesome, Mark.
Well, Debbie, I'm going to pick you back up. We made right. We're making grade. We're making strides here. Made the final 10. Business is
we'll be here tomorrow too for the NASCAR race.
Optimism.
Well, both the RCR cars in the final round. As Dylan is third, 31-30.
So Larson still has the pole.
1/100th of a second.
Kind of stagnant on that, so that impresses you even more about Larson's pickup.
All right, now look at the front of this Mustang Dark Horse. People were talking about it in Daytona all week. No blue oval on the nose, no chrome Mustang in the center of the grille. What kind of brand identity is this? It's the kind young people like. This is not your father's Mustang. It's not a Mach 1. It's not a Boss 302. This is the Dark Horse. This is what the young people
Who likes the
have
Dark
been asking
Horse?
for.
It's hip, is what you're saying.
I wouldn't know about that, would I, Clint?
I mean, you consider yourself the hip person in this booth.
I'll
so
have to take
the young hip person.
Take
so
this off your guys.
Is that hip?
Yes, it looks hip to me. It looks mean, is what I say. That old horse, old pony out there looks pretty tough.
The Dark Horse.
Ryan Blaney, 31-31 in round one.
See what he can do here, Blaney.
Took a beating last week,
Those
Kevin.
12s, hit the like button. That's right,
10.
man.
Good turnaround for them.
He took a couple of really big shots in Daytona, and I know that's it's a short week when you have two hits like that coming to another super
Larson's
speedway.
got him by about
a
half a car length, maybe a whole
And
car
Team
length
Penske
now.
lost 3 cars. Larry,
the
how about the win? Cars aren't
the
picking
dog
up as
leg.
much right now.
And
they've been talking to
Larson
Todd
still
Gilliland
having
on his
Blaney on the
radio
outside.
about how the wind is still blowing the same direction down the back straightaway, but the speed is picking up. There's a lot of
All
chatter
right,
on the
rowdy
radio
friends,
about
here
that
he
right
is.
now.
Let's see if he can
Ryan
get the
Blaney
pole.
Picks up 11/100ths. Not quite as much as Kyle Larson, but more than anybody else who is qualified by quite a bit. So Blaney is second to Larson right now. Here comes Kyle Busch.
See what he can do. You see those rowdy
26
friends.
for Busch in round one.
And there's a lot to the process as they came in at the end of the first round. You hear Larry talk about not being able to have the cool down unit on the car, but as a driver you have to shut the car off, hold the gas pedal wide open to let air flow into the top of the intake manifold to start cooling the intake manifold down,
Awesome.
air into the grill,
SVG.
fire it back up. There's a
Yeah.
process that you have to go through. And I see a lot of these guys outside of their cars when I used to sit in my car to hold the gas pedal down to keep the intake manifold cool. But Kyle Busch,
talk about process,
right on it here with Kyle Larson.
Look at that.
Ooh, Kyle, I told you Kyle's going to win this thing. He's got the pole right now.
Stop. Just might do it.
He comes to the dog leg. New pole leader, Kyle Busch.
30.
So those 8s.
For Kyle Busch. He picks
Kyle.
up 16/100ths of a second. Pretty much same as Larson did. And right now, it's an all Chevrolet front row with 5 drivers to go.
Well, the Fords haven't done anything yet. So Chevy. I have picked Kyle Busch to win this thing tonight or tomorrow. That's my pick. Kyle Busch, I think he's going to come back strong right here. But we got the Fords. Got 2 Fords already qualified, but we'll see what Cindric, Briscoe, Logano. Look at all the Penske's in the top 10 qualifying, and then the 2 front rows also as well. Zach says, let's go Logano, baby. So I hope you guys are enjoying it. Make sure you're checking out the pin message at the top. We're going to be bringing you the Xfinity race right after this. So we got to go to a different stream. So make sure you go over and hit that like. Get the likes going on that already. And we'll take a little bit of break while they do the pre-race and all that stuff. And then I'll be back on. Kyle Larson will win, Sportzilla says. I know for sure he'll win next week in Vegas, but you never know. But make sure you guys are hanging out with us all day. And after the truck race, we're going to do the Xfinity race. So all day racing for, 8 hours or whatever it is. I hope you guys stay with us. We'll be bringing you the live audio. The truck race, they don't have any in-car cameras. The Xfinity race does. So during the Xfinity race, we'll be showing some in-car cameras like we did during the 500 and the Xfinity race last week. So we'll have live audio, all that good stuff. So make sure you hang out here. You really missed the Pontiacs, PJ says. Dark Angel says, Rowdy's going wild. That's right. All right, let's see what these Fords can do. Think he might won the 500 if he didn't get wrecked out at the end, was running fast. Yeah, he was. Phil says Xfinity. Yep, that's coming up after this on a different stream, so make sure you guys are going over there, and that's the pin message right there at the top. Make sure you're clicking on that. I mean, we're going to be doing the truck race, then the Xfinity, but this is the truck race, and we'll have the pin message later into the Xfinity truck race. But make sure you guys are going over there after this is over and waiting on me. I'll get some stuff together, get me a drink, fix the screens, change all the screens and all that stuff, and make it look good for you guys. And we'll be right back here for the truck race right after this. So the truck race and the Xfinity race are both on FS1. So we'll be bringing it to you guys. Interesting to see what Dark Horse can do on it. Yeah, me too. For sure. All right, here we go.
Kyle Busch fastest so far, and we've uncovered something about his launch and get up to speed that may be part of that difference.
Well, we talk about him shifting into fifth gear sooner than Kyle Larson, and he was 700 less RPM when he shifted into fifth gear compared to Kyle Larson, and that's just something from the engine shop that they feel like is better from a torque horsepower standpoint to put the car into gear sooner, and it makes more speed.
5 drivers to go, and they're all in Fords. Chase Briscoe will be the first of those 5. 31.25 in round 1 for Briscoe.
Let's see what Briscoe can do. Nine away to 100, y'all. Thanks so much for getting us there.
Fastest Ford right now is Blaney at 31.20.
And you can hear the engine pick up down the back straightaway, and that is purely the difference in the way that the wind is blowing. Down the back straightaway, it's at their tail. Down the front straightaway, it's at their nose, and it sounds like a couple hundred RPM difference.
Does not have. Rowdy's got him by 2 car lengths.
It picked up like that bump, really engaged that bump, wow, and it took off like it launched off of the bump.
So Rowdy's still there. Briscoe in 5th.
Briscoe is 5th of 6 with a 31.30.
Here we go.
He is the
Austin
first driver
Cindric,
whose time falls off from round 1. And it's by 5/100ths of a second.
Now that's where that wind could.
You hear him coming to pit road, practicing coming to pit road.
All right, let's see what Cindric can do.
That wind could play a difference.
All the Team Penske cars in the final round. Here is Austin Cindric, the second of the 3, who also had a 31.25 in round 1.
When I see a car slow down from their first time, we heard Larry tell us that the temperatures being up and the oils, the fluids are going to be faster. We know he looked at the data and he's going to be better on his launch with a second time practice. If he's slower, maybe that wind has a contributing factor.
According to our data, Cindric grabbed 5th gear at 7,900 RPM.
I think that's a perfect number right there.
See what Cindric can do.
Magic.
Of course, you know, Penske won here last year as well with Logano.
The shift number was actually, it would either be 7,800 or 8,200.
Kyle still got him by a car length.
Nope. I think 7,900's right in the sweet spot.
And I'm of the opinion that if you slow down, something didn't go right. I mean, it could be the wind, but you know, a lot of these guys are picking up a 1/10 and a half, and if you don't pick up something, the process didn't go right. Launch, shifting.
Almost a 2 car lengths now on Cindric.
You didn't cool it down properly.
Larry told us the wind.
Kevin,
not going to get it.
Measurably between the first 5 going and that break to the next 5.
And 5th for Cindric. All right,
Cindric
so it's down to 3 drivers. The fastest 3 drivers
you
here.
Love that, don't you, Clint?
He backed me.
Yeah.
He backed me.
Well, he's 4/100ths slower than round 1. Briscoe was 5/100ths slower. And look, those flags are straight. We don't have an anemometer up here, but those flags are straight
Gillen's gonna go.
But that was our first true time
See
that
what
we
he can
disagreed.
do.
That was our first disagreement, and it felt so good, Kevin.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
I feel like I won.
I
Keep
just
hitting that
stick
subscribe button,
things
y'all.
out from the driver's side of things. Sometimes we have
Thank
to
you
dumb
so
it down
much
for you
for that
to make it all
subscribe.
make sense.
Hey, you can sell
look
it however
look
you
at
want.
the flag. Look at the flag
Clint
down there.
was right.
Meanwhile,
Hey,
here's a
Kevin,
flag.
Clint thinks 7,900 is a sweet spot. Kyle Busch shifted 7,200.
7,200.
It ain't over yet, Larry. It's not over.
Todd Gilliland, 31.22 on lap 1.
See what he can do. Ooh, he's pretty close to Rowdy. He's got him by. Rowdy's got him by
thousandths right there.
a bumper right now.
Was told there was some radio chatter there where a car was told that maybe the wind perhaps was a little bit calmer for the 8 lap of Kyle Busch.
Now he gets ahead.
Well, it sure looked like the wind might have been a little calmer down the backstretch.
And now here comes Rowdy again. It's going to be close to the line.
Very close. Good run.
Oh, Rowdy keeps
second by 3 100ths is Todd Gilliland. He runs a 31-13. Which means he picks up 9 100ths of a second.
If Kyle wins this, Regan or Jamie's going to have to get inside that car for this interview.
Maybe he's going to go out and do some donuts.
He's not getting out.
He's not getting out. And I was kind of that way. It's like, all right. Well,
remember, Rowdy's doing the truck race tonight.
And not change anything until it's over.
Speaking of good, this lap is going to be one. Was
all right, let me see those 22s.
Last week and was one of our first 2 in the first round.
Logano on the
Keep an eye on Joey Logano.
Well, no matter what happens, this is going to be Todd Gilliland's best career start at Atlanta here tomorrow as Joey Logano, pole sitter for the Daytona 500, who ran a 31-20 in round 1.
Well, Larry just reminded us that they still have work to do after this. They have pit road practice. That's why Kyle Busch is sitting in the car.
Boys, he's all over it. It's going to be very close.
It's very close. He's on the bumper of Kyle. I mean, front bumper.
There's that bump again.
They're about the same.
Pick up, Kevin, as you alluded to. Staying very low on the racetrack.
I think Joey's going to get it.
Now, what's this headwind going to be like off turn 4?
I don't know. Sure like the tailwind down the backstretch. Looks good, guys.
Joey's got the pole.
First place for Logano, 31:07.
Not near as much as I thought.
31:07.
Just a couple hundreds.
31:07.
Picked up 13 100ths, similar to what Kyle Busch and Kyle Larson did.
Hell yeah, 22.
1 left.
All right, here we go.
Can it be the same front row?
Well, McDowell was fastest in round 1 with a 31:18.
Beanbone
If
Dogs.
he gets the same pickup Joey Logano did, obviously he will go to the pole. Can he get a second straight front row start?
Well, they sure have something figured out, don't they? Certainly put themselves in a situation to do so.
Yeah, 2 weeks in a row. Doing a little cleanup out there. Travis Peterson and his crew for Michael McDowell have certainly had
your boy,
speed.
Zach says.
Yes, they have.
Oh, it's a
You're just coming in, hit that like button. We're trying to get to 100 likes, y'all. Thanks so much for the love today.
Always up front when the time comes, knows when to be patient, knows how to survive.
All right, you're on the line. You got the fastest car. You're ready to go. You put it in gear, and they go,
3 more
trash
to
bag on the
100.
track. You'll have to wait.
I got you,
What's
boys.
that do?
Well, in this particular instance, it's really about the process. I mean, Michael's thought about his process and going forward, but it definitely makes you a little bit more antsy just because of the fact that you've thought it out and then you're ready to go, and then it's like, all right, hold on. So you have to take a deep breath, rethink it all, and try to make it happen. I know thinking twice, Clint, would be tough for you, but
you just keep it going.
Yeah.
I've been right so far, by the way.
I know.
The tally is 1 good guys and none you. So if he shifts to 7,900, Larry.
I said Kyle Busch,
Clint,
Yellow Jacket.
Might be.
I got you covered, Clint. I got you, buddy.
I said he was going to take the pole and win.
If it's on 7,900, I've got
it. He's close.
For you.
Second place.
So you're saying if Maddow,
he's Yellow Jacket over there on Twitter, on Twitch, talking to us.
Of it.
All right, the track truck scurries for cover, gets behind the wall, and now we have a clear track for Michael McDowell, who will be our final qualifier.
What is it?
Beanbone Dogs dig us. Interesting. Forward. Here we go. McDowell. Can he do it?
Shifts at 8,600, and here we go. 8,600, Clint.
70. Look, Larry will have to tell us the exact 5th gear shift there, but Michael McDowell got up through the gears pretty good and coming to the green flag.
Still feel good.
Here we go. See what happens.
This car's fast.
Could it be this guy?
Looking for his first career pole in nearly 500 starts.
Right over the top of one another. Starting to see him inch ahead as he gets into 1 and 2. We
it's like
saw
it's going
this
to be
with
deja
those other 2
vu all
cars,
over again, guys.
Logano and Busch. It's a lot closer than you think when you see this.
McDowell's got him by
Paul Wolf,
a
crew
car
chief,
length.
That's Logano's crew chief looking on. He probably doesn't like what
Congratulations, Michael McDowell.
No one has ever started
his first pole ever. Michael McDowell.
And then won his first pole. Michael McDowell has done it.
That's a big lap. Only car to break in the 30-second category, Larry. That was that 7,900 shift. You know it was.
Well, it was
Michael McDowell.
Heck yeah, bro.
Is the right lap? Go ahead and say it.
It was 7,100 that he shifted. So
I told you.
Good thing we didn't listen to Clint.
Yes,
and
I
Michael
told you.
McDowell did what he thought was right, but
shifted exactly the right
that's awesome.
place.
His first career pole ever.
Same 2 cars, 2 weeks in a row. Pretty cool.
McDowell picked up 18/100ths of a second in round 2, more than any other driver, and it's the same front row as last week.
All right, so deja vu all over again, guys, as Michael McDowell gets the pole, Logano on the outside, and that is it for qualifying. So we're going to be doing a little break, and then we'll be back for let's listen to Michael McDowell's interview for the pole, and then we'll call it a night, and then we're going to be right back on the truck race. It's the pin message above in the link. Make sure you're over there hanging out, waiting on us. We're going to be doing the same setup. Maybe some in-car cameras if they have any in the trucks. They didn't have any in the Daytona race. But make sure you guys hang over there. Go over there to our link. Wait for us right there. The 451 of us that are right there. We'll be bringing the live audio to you guys just like this. And tomorrow, we're doing the race tomorrow as well. We're also doing the Xfinity race after the truck race. So a full day of racing here on the channel. Hope to have y'all hang out with us through the race. So congratulations, Michael McDowell. We'll hang out here and let him do his interview, and then we'll go. Then we have about 45 minutes before I go live again. So someone has to type that stuff in because they're messing up. That's crazy. I'll take the Joey winning this race, though. Zach says, could he win back-to-back? I don't know. We'll see. Can't wait to hear his interview, though, for being on the pole. PJ says, Austin Dillon has YouTube on board cameras. Uh-oh, the jinx effect. Yeah. Yep. So during the race, we usually pick different in-car cameras and let you see those throughout the race. We'll try all different kinds at different times of the race. So definitely hang out with us. We'll have a good time. But thanks for the subscribes, y'all. We got a lot of subscribers this morning, and almost over 400 folks in here. That was cool. But definitely make sure you go over to the Craftsman Truck Series race link that's in the pin message. So just waiting on the audio to come back in here, y'all. And we'll let you listen in to Michael McDowell's interview. It's going to be a fun one, too. His first ever pole.
Welcome back to Atlanta, where this young fan was cheering Joey Logano's run, which was fastest of all at the time. Now, well, she feels a bit like Paul Wolfe.
Oh, look at oh, that's
it's all right.
She's all down and out.
Still the front row.
I have been there. Bucky's.
Well, let's hear from the pole sitter, Regan.
Let's listen in.
467 career starts as of Sunday. Michael McDowell, for the first time, though, you will lead the field to green in a cup race.
Yeah, that's awesome. Just really proud of all the men and women at Front Row Motorsports. 2 weeks in a row, we sat on the front row. We got a really fast Spin-A-Bone Ford Mustang. You know, that was a good lap, but it really comes down to team and execution. They've done a really good job. So we need to back that up with a good result tomorrow, but really proud of everybody at Front Row. It's a big effort for us. Got both cars in the top 5, which is awesome.
Congratulations.
His teammate Todd Gilliland will start 4th, so Front Row Motorsports has both the front row. What's happening now is pit road entry practice, and we'll discuss more on the other side of the break because the speed limit situation at Atlanta is unlike anywhere else. We'll also give you the starting lineup for tomorrow's Ambetter Health 400 as Michael McDowell, Travis Peterson, and Front Row Motorsports celebrate the pole for tomorrow's Cup race in Atlanta.
All right, so there it is. We'll go back to the preview. Awesome. So you guys, thanks so much for tuning in today for the qualifying for the Ambetter Health 400 live from the Atlanta Motor Speedway as Michael McDowell gets his very first ever pole. Unbelievable. So so glad I got the opportunity to bring this, guys, to you. It looks like it was really popular. We'll try to do this a lot on Saturday mornings and go from there, depending on what's going on in the sports world on our channel. But we'll try to bring as much as we can to you. But in the meantime, make sure you go check that pin message in the top of the chat. If you guys haven't seen that, we're on our, if you're not in the chat, you can't see the chat, make sure you go over to our YouTube channel and look for the pin message. Or just wait for us to go live on Facebook or Twitch or Twitter. So we'll be live on all 4 channels all day long today. And I hope to get a lot of followers on every single one of them. But thanks to Spain for letting me hang out with you guys. Love you, girl. Thanks to my mods. Thanks to the members who give your hard-earned money back to the channel. And thank you for watching. And appreciate all the love, guys. So until we see each other here in about 30, 40 minutes, the truck race on the other channel, make sure you check out the pin message above. We will bring it to you. But congratulations, Michael McDowell, on the pole, like 400 and some starts, and he finally gets a pole. All right. We'll see you soon. Truck race time. Oh, Rowdy, I guarantee he's going to win that one. But if you don't like the truck race or the Xfinity race and you're just here for NASCAR, make sure you find us tomorrow. I don't have the stream up yet, but we will have that later on. Make sure you look for us tomorrow for the stream for the NASCAR Cup race, the Ambetter 400, live right here on the channel. Same setup as we have been. So, all right, guys, we'll see you in a little while. See you. Bye.